Hi, I'm Jacqueline Rinksmeyer, Executive Director of the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Jared Fry, General Manager and Public Information Officer for the City of Medina and Medina TV.
One of the core values of the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce is business advocacy. We've been proud to partner with Medina TV on this voter education series for well over 10 years now. We're grateful to our interviewer and General Manager of Medina TV, Jared Fry, and our producer, Matt Tomick.
We are grateful for all the candidates that took part in the Candidates Forum, but we also want to stress that the opinions of those candidates are not those necessarily of Medina TV or the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce.
All candidates and contested races were invited to participate in this voter education program.
We want all voters to be informed to the best of the ability as they head to the ballot this November, so sit back and relax and enjoy our Candidates Forum.
We encourage you to make a plan to vote this November.
Joining me now in studio is Pat Walker, candidate for Medina County Commissioner. Pat, thank you for joining us here today.
It's a pleasure, and thank you to the Chamber and Medina TV for having us.
Yeah, it's great to have you guys in here. And first, let's start and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Pat Walker, and I'm a lawyer, but most of all, I'm a business person. Running a law firm takes a lot of work with HR, other items, so I'm used to administrative issues. I'm running because I want to represent the taxpayers of Medina County, that their money gets spent wisely and efficiently. I have been in the community for about 35 years. I've been president of Medina, it's the Project Learn, our literacy group, our adult literacy group. It's a great group of people. I've been president of the Medina County Bar Association. I have been president of two different county agencies, one the Medina County Law Library Resources Board, and the other one the Medina County District Library Board. I've been involved with the city on the bicentennial. I was secretary of the committee. That was a lot of fun. Also, I was instrumental on the Savior Courthouse Committee, which ended up convincing the commissioners to save the 1969 courthouse. And currently, I am bar counsel, which means that I'm in charge of the grievance committee. It's the group of people who do discipline for local lawyers. I'm the president of the Medina County Law Library Association. I'm on the Council of Delegates of the Ohio State Bar Association. I've served in 4 statewide nonprofits on the boards of those statewide nonprofits, and have done other things in the community also.
Wow. Take us through the role of the office you're running for. Take us through what the role of a Medina County Commissioner is.
The Medina County Commissioners, there's 3 of them, and they basically run the county. They make sure that the taxpayer money is spent wisely. They take care of the county roads. They take care of the sewer issues. I mean, it's a wide-ranging responsibility. It's basically running the county.
Mm-hmm. And then being a county commissioner, you would be in contact with villages, townships, cities, and the county as a whole. How do you work the balance of the needs of all those entities as you work as a county commissioner?
Well, I think the communication is the most important part. You talk to everybody, you find out what's important to everybody, and generally you can come to a consensus on what needs to be done in the county, and find out what everybody's doing, find out their ideas and what they believe can be done for the county.
And what would you see as some of the biggest issues that would be facing you if elected to the county commissioners?
Well, I think that the using the taxpayer money wisely is the biggest one. The county spends an awful lot of money, and it is the taxpayers' money. It's not the county's money. You need to be aware of that when you're looking at it. There's a lot of people who are struggling with paying their bills. You need to be aware of that and try to help out those that are struggling and make sure they're aware of the programs that are in place right now, and to see if there's any other programs that can be put in place for those taxpayers. But the main thing is to make sure that the county is running efficiently, but make sure that the money is spent wisely, because money that doesn't need to be spent shouldn't be spent just because it's there.
And you just mentioned how people are struggling, and one of those areas they're struggling in is affordable housing. You have young homeowners trying to get started for the first time, maybe seniors looking to downsize and trying to find homes that are affordable. What are your thoughts as far as the county goes with affordable housing?
Well, I think one of the things is the real estate taxes. The county can make sure that the real estate taxes stay as low as they possibly can, that people are aware of the programs that are in place in order to help the people pay for their bills, make sure that the resources in the county are known and are available for people who need more help.
And another issue is in regards to the license tag fee. What are your thoughts in terms of the fee assessed there for that?
Well, I think that any tax, if you need it, you need to express to the people why you need it. And in the case of the license plate tax, currently for most vehicles it's $60 a year. $20 of that was assessed by the Medina County Commissioners. And they didn't really take a lot of effort in figuring out why they needed it or to tell the people why it was important. And that's the biggest thing is if you need the money, you need to say to the people, okay, this is what we're going to do with the money. This is why we need it. And then get feedback from the taxpayers. They may say yes, they may say no. In 2018, there was a vote for a sales tax, and it was to go for courthouse. And 64% of the voters of Medina County said no. They did not believe that they needed a new courthouse. And the next year, in 2019, secretly, the commissioners and others got together and said, okay, so we're going to get a new courthouse. Let's see how we're going to do this. That is not proper. If the people say no, and you really still think that the money is needed or the project's needed, then you need to go out to the taxpayers. You need to talk to them. You need to have forums. You need to say, okay, what is your view on this? And then to lay out the reasons why you believe that additional money is needed. You don't just say, oh, I know better than anybody else. We're just going to go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm. We're speaking with Pat Walker, candidate for the Medina County Commissioner's seat. What is something that you're most proud of, and how would that benefit you in the office if elected?
Well, I was president of the Medina County District Library Board, and when president, I was fortunate to have the opportunity to save the taxpayers $1.1 million. My first meeting, they were looking at whether or not to hire this particular architect, and I wasn't involved in that because I had just been put on the board. And the architect was from Michigan, and he said he needed $100,000 for travel expenses, for hotels. And I said, well, why don't we hire an architect in town? I mean, we have lots of architects in Medina County that could do this, or, in Northeast Ohio. And they already said, well, they'd been through the process, and this was the best architect. So fortunately, the board was able, after I made the motion, to reduce the contract by $100,000, which was what was in the contract for travel. Then it happened that when I was president of the board for a couple of years later, the architect said, okay, the project is done. The project was done under budget. The architect said, well, I want $1 million more. And they said, well, we were promised $1 million more. And I said, well, where was it promised? And they said, it wasn't in writing. It was just a verbal promise. And I asked them, well, what haven't you been paid for? And they said they'd been paid for everything under the contract, and they'd been paid for everything that was additional that was done. And so on my suggestion, the board said, no, we're not paying any more money. So managed to save the taxpayers of Medina County $1.1 million. And as commissioner, this opportunity would be there again to watch out for the taxpayers' money. It's not the county's money, it is the taxpayers' money.
What would be the thing that you would like to improve upon being elected into the commissioner's office?
Well, obviously, I've already touched on that. I think that any time the commissioners are talking about money, that that the taxpayers should have the opportunity to weigh in on what should be done. Right now, the agenda for the commissioners is not available prior to the day of the meeting, or at least not for the public available prior to the meeting. It would be great if the public who wanted to know what was on the agenda could find out prior to the meeting. Also, the meetings are 9:30 Tuesday mornings, where most people who are working cannot make it there. So the people who actually are paying the bill for the county don't have the ability to have a say in the county, and that's important.
And I can see you have it. I'd like to ask all the candidates that are in here running that I applaud everyone that steps forth into the political arena and runs for office. It's a great endeavor, especially in this day. What is your passion that drives you to run for office and take part in the political process?
Well, as a business person, I have to work within my budget to know what I have to spend and what we can do with the money. And I haven't seen that emphasis in the county. Also, additionally, I've attended meetings, and at times I've seen things and I said, well, I'm not sure that's what the people, said they wanted. Also, at times I've also, as a lawyer, said, well, I'm not quite sure you can do that. So that's a few of the things.
Great. Speaking of Pat Walker, candidate for Medina County Commissioner. And Pat, you've been wonderful. You've been answering all my questions. I want to make sure I give you the opportunity that you can talk directly to the voters if there's anything I missed or anything you'd like to touch on. So the floor is yours. Feel free. Thank you.
This November, we have a chance to make sure that the taxpayers' money is spent wisely. There's 2 openings on the commissioners, 2 out of 3. And Pauline Chapman and I are committed to watch out for the taxpayers' money. For instance, appointments to boards are important, and the Port Authority Board right now has agreed that the Legacy Hotel in Medina can have about $48 million in government bonds. But what is even more troubling for our community is that the Port Authority is going to own the hotel for a period of time, which means that when the Legacy Hotel is being built, the construction materials will not have to be charged sales tax. Also, for 30 years, the real estate taxes will not be paid on that because it's going to be the Port Authority owning it. That causes problems to our local governments and to our schools. We need to watch out for how we spend taxpayer money. And there's a group of people running and the Vote D campaign, and we believe that the taxpayers are the ones that should be having the say. And you can find out more about our programs at www.vote4d.org. And I appreciate the opportunity being here today. That's wonderful.
Yeah, great. Again, Pat Walker, candidate for Medina County Commissioner. I want to thank you for your time today, and I want to wish you the best of luck this November.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.